Hey guys, today I'm in search of an ancient Hindu temple, and this is supposed to be at least 1,000 years old. Let's go take a look and see what we can find. Some people have claimed there is an abandoned temple in the village of Kothamangalam, but the beauty is that this village is not even on Google Maps. The closest village on maps is Kattur, and I have to physically explore this area to find the temple's location. Oh, there. You can see a giant Vishnu statue, and there you can see the ruined temple. This is the ancient temple we were looking for. Let me remove my shoes and then we can start finding out what's there. Let's take a look at this Vishnu, guys. So here you can see this gigantic Vishnu, guys. It'll be, I would say it's about 5 or 6 feet long. Now the question is this really Vishnu or is it some other god? How did I identify this as Vishnu? Now the obvious symbol is this, and this is called Namam in Tamil, and you can say that this is a new Namam that they've put on the carving, but you can see other details as well. Now for example, here you can see the conch or the Shanku as they call it, and this is a clear symbol of Lord Vishnu. So it's a classic symbol. It's called a Shayana Vishnu or Pallikonda Perumal, where he's putting one hand like this and sleeping, and he's wearing a sacred thread, he's wearing ornaments, and he's also wearing like giant ear studs, fully loaded with his crown or helmet. So we know that this is Vishnu. Usually Vishnu will have his wife or consort called Lakshmi by his feet, but that's missing. This is a monolithic statue, meaning it is made of one stone, and you can see the depth here showing the thickness of Vishnu's feet to make it look realistic. And it's remarkable. Look at his face. He looks quite lifelike and has a mysterious smile. There is a tall brick tower, but before that you can see another structure that's made completely with granite. Let's go closer to this, and right away I am greeted by this short, fat creature blowing a conch. Who is he? He has a very fancy hairdo, but due to neglect, everything is completely eroded. And he's not only wearing large earrings, he's even wearing a belt-like thing on his belly. Now, immediately I can see some renovation attempts by inferior civilizations. You can see the cylindrical pillar on the left, supported by a separate rectangular block at the bottom, while the pillar on the right has a small cylindrical block at the top, adjusted for height. You may think this is an engineering blunder by ancient builders, but if you look carefully, you can see everything else is of one color, and the color of the right side pillar is different. This was a poor renovation attempt, possibly done a few centuries ago. That's why it looks weird, but thankfully, these carvings are original. There are many valuable carvings, very interesting carvings that have a lot of interesting story. Each carving tells us a story from the ancient texts. Show you this carving. It's a very popular story. Here's a human-like figure that's holding a bird by its beak. This is actually Lord Krishna killing a demon that has taken the form of a bird. The demon's name is Bakasura, and Krishna is basically splitting its face open. And here is a half-man, half-lion god called Narasimha, holding a demon. Again, very interesting combination of carvings. If you look at these two carvings at the top and bottom, at the bottom, the animal-like figure is the bad one, and the humanoid is good, and the animal is getting destroyed. At the top, the animal-like figure is good, and the humanoid is bad, but the humanoid is getting killed. Now, this can be confusing if you're not a Hindu, but in the ancient concept of Hinduism, in both cases, the good wins and the evil gets defeated, regardless of who you are. This is why Hinduism was referred to as Dharma, meaning righteousness or the cosmic law. Here you can see a big guy dancing on the right. A woman drummer is carved in the middle. You can see her beating the drum. To the left, you can see this beautiful dancing woman. Now we can understand what is going on. Look at the woman's posture and the big man's posture. They're quite similar. That big guy is actually teaching dance moves to this woman, and the drummer is delivering the beats. It's remarkable how we are able to understand these carvings even after so many centuries. Here you can see a carving that's hidden behind the spider web on the far left. Let's see what's happening here. Look carefully. What do you see? Is this a continuation of this dance class scene? No. To understand this, you must have read the ancient epic called Ramayana. On the left, you can see the protagonist's wife. Her name is Sita, sitting in a sad posture because she has been kidnapped. Look at her hand, how it's shown placed on her head. On the right side, you can see the monkey god Hanuman. Look at his hand. He's giving something to her. The monkey god is actually showing the ring of Rama, her husband, to prove that he is a messenger of her husband. To understand carvings like these, we need deep knowledge of ancient Indian texts. Otherwise, it's impossible to decipher them. Here, too, you can see a bunch of animals. On the top, you can see the most dangerous animal, a Homo sapien. Below that, you can see an elephant, and below the elephant, you can see a bunch of lions and so forth. Too bad, some of the carvings are very much eroded. It's nearly impossible to understand what is what in some of them. But these carvings are actually a distraction because my objective is to find the history of the temple. So how do we find out more information about this temple, right? So if you look at this casually, all you will see is the ruins. But if you start looking carefully, then you'll start finding out these inscriptions. So here you can see ancient inscriptions. Again, if you start seeing here also, you can see more inscriptions. Now, this is good news because that means people were interested in writing about the temple and giving us more information. So let's go take a better look. And the information is usually hidden. Okay, so let's go take a look and see what else we can find. Here. So if you see here, you can see a lot of inscriptions. Now, of course, if you see in this place, this is actually completely in ruins. I don't think anybody comes here. But you can see inscriptions on this side. So let's go, right? And let's go see if we can find more inscriptions. Okay, that's really good. So this is actually good news, guys, because we can see a lot of inscriptions here. Okay, and right away, I can see that it is written in ancient Tamil language, because here you can see this word Raja. The word Raja, there's actually, is probably mentioning Rajaraja Chola, who was a great king. He's one of the greatest Indian kings that ever lived about 1,000 years ago. So there is a 95% chance that this temple was originally built by him, or he was donating for this temple. That means that the temple is at least 1,000 years old. So let's see if we can read this and get more information. Okay, so here you can see this text that says Vinnagaram. Okay, so here you can clearly see that it says Vinnagaram. That's actually an ancient word for temple. So we probably know what's the name of this temple. Let's see if we can find out more. Okay, so we know that this is Vinnagaram, but I don't know what this is. So I'm going to put some water on this. This is a great way to bring the text out, guys. Okay. All right. So we know this is Vinnagaram. And here you can see this is Deva. This is Deva. And this is Vasu Deva Vinnagaram. That was the original name of this temple. Today, people just call it Kattur Perumal Kovil. This is in this really small village called Kattur, and they just call it Perumal Temple. But the original name of this 1,000 years ago was Vasudeva Vinnagaram. It was probably built by the great king Rajaraja Chola 1,000 years ago. You can see the inscriptions here too. You can see inscriptions all around the temple. But the real problem is that it's impossible to go over there. You can see the inscriptions here, everywhere. I'm sure it's all around that side too. But it's impossible for me to go around because this is really dilapidated, guys. This is gone. And here too. If you start from here, and if you go all the way up, it's just full of inscriptions, actually. Everything has inscriptions. So we have a lot of valuable information that's hidden and that can be easily decoded if we make an effort to understand these inscriptions. If you come to this region, which is the deep south of India, the common narrative is that King Rajaraja was a staunch devotee of Lord Shiva, and he actually hated Lord Vishnu. And some even believe he destroyed Vishnu temples. The same narrative is said about many kings, arguing that Hinduism was never a unified religion, and Shiva and Vishnu were never worshipped together. But this theory is repeatedly proven wrong in ancient temples, because we can see that most people worshipped all the Hindu gods, and there was almost no discrimination during ancient times in India. The idea of this is the only real God and the other gods are all false or evil must have come to India at a much later time. But we have not stepped into the main structure. The brick tower is the main structure, which is about 20 to 25 feet tall. Is there a main idol inside this tower? How does it look? Let's go take a look and see what's inside. At the top, you can see plants growing. Plants have now started to fully cover the temple. And the back of the temple is completely inaccessible because it's covered by a thorny bush. As you can see, this ancient temple is in complete shambles, guys. This is so dilapidated that if I step in, it's ready to crumble anytime. It's really sad to see this, but I'm actually afraid to step into this because everything might just collapse on my head. Let's see how it looks. Now this is the current state of a great ancient temple. The risk is doubled or tripled when the structure is made of brick, because brick structures collapse easily. Granite structures or stone structures are better, but this entire thing is made of brick. I am going to try to go in because I want to see what's inside, but it's really risky to go inside. You should see the top. It's really fantastic. It's an octagonal structure on here. These seem to be, I don't know how old the wooden beams are. Maybe the wooden beams were put recently, but I'm sure that's what's doing the job, because without the wooden beams, I think this tower would have collapsed a long time ago. I hope you can see this wall. Now, of course, you can see this here. This is actually a good sign because people are still doing some sort of worship. Now, the entire structure is made of brick. So here you can see those beams, the cross beams. They appear kind of new, but the cross beams are actually protecting this tower from just collapsing. Without those wooden beams, this tower would have collapsed a long time ago. And it has a very interesting shape, guys. It has, if you see the sides, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is an octagonal shape on this side. And then at the top, it's like a point. So you can imagine how it's built. On the ground, you can see huge granite blocks just scattered around. These are giant stone blocks. There's no way this gets scattered like this naturally. And you can see that someone has pulled them out of the ground. This means that the main idol was removed manually and the stone blocks were moved during the process of removing the main statue. So once upon a time, maybe 1,000 years ago, Lord Vishnu's statue would have been here. This would have been the place where the Vishnu statue would have been. I'm assuming it's that giant statue outside that was placed here, or it may have been a standing Vishnu. Okay, so I don't know which one it is. Let's take a look at other details. So even though this is a brick, and you can see the lime mortar to join the bricks, but below, this is all granite. Okay, so this is all granite. So the base is made completely of granite. This is why you see so many stone blocks. And I want to say there must have been something planted here. The main god must have been planted here. So it's probably a standing god. May not have been that sleeping Vishnu. Must have been a standing god. So maybe that idol was removed or stolen or something like this. But we can see that there's a depression here. And you can see these stone blocks that were probably set up around this. So we don't know, and we have no idea of finding out where that standing idol is. Maybe it is lying here somewhere. There's a chance that we can still see this idol standing in the bushes somewhere. It's possible. Maybe this is the base, the pedestal on which the statue would have stood. Let's see if we can find this main statue. I can see this small pillar. This is lying amongst the bushes, and you can see more pillars lying around. But I'm looking for a statue, not a pillar. Now look here. We can see there is a standing statue with its head cut off. This could possibly be the main statue. Its head has been chopped off with the intention that nobody should recognize what god this is. And I think they succeeded in this because there is no way to find out who this is. We can narrow this down a little bit because we can see that this is a male god. But other than that, we don't even know what he is holding in his hands because that's also chopped off. The legs are also broken, but at least these pieces are still standing together. So What statue is this? No head, no face, no hands, and we cannot find the tools or weapons he's holding. So there is no way to find out. But let's put our Indiana Jones hat on to see if we can crack this. If you zoom in on the body, there's nothing out of the ordinary, but you can see just one nipple, and the other nipple is not visible. Now, why is that? Instead, you can see a tiny little bump here, like an inflammation. Now, what is it? It's a very small detail, but it's on the right side of his chest. Now, let's go back to the giant sleeping Vishnu statue and see if we can find a similar feature on his right chest. Now here, exactly on his right chest, on the same spot, you can see the same bump, except it has more details. Can you tell me what this is? If you observe carefully, you may realize that it is a tiny footprint. This bump is actually called Bhrigupada, meaning Bhrigu's footprint. According to ancient texts, Bhrigu was a saint who kicked Lord Vishnu on his right chest, which caused the inflammation. So we can confirm that this broken statue is, in fact, a statue of Lord Vishnu. This is quite refreshing that we're still able to identify this figure, even though his head, hands, and all his tools are cut off. We know this is a Vishnu statue, but I cannot confirm 100% if this was the main statue placed inside the main chamber. But I think I've shown you reasonably well how I deconstruct an ancient site by looking at iconography, architecture, and inscriptions. I hope you like this video. I am Praveen Mohan. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.